The first thing the Japanese mafia ever hands you is a mop. You're 18, 2 weeks past sleeping in a park, and the only door in Kobe that opens for you belongs to a crime syndicate. What throws you is that it has a sign. There's an actual wooden sign by the door with the family's name and crest, like a dentist. You'd assumed you'd need to know a guy who knows a guy. Turns out you just knock. A man built like a vending machine asks if you've eaten, feeds you, and points you at the floor. Nobody mentions crime at all. You're weirdly disappointed. The bowl of rice is free, by the way. It's the last thing in this building that ever will be. Your job title, roughly translated, is room liver. You live in the office, you wake before everyone, clean everything, cook rice you get yelled at for, and answer the phone before the second ring with the family's name. Get the greeting wrong, and you hear about it for a week. Mostly, you wait outside places. You hold an umbrella over a man who never looks at you. You bow at car doors. 6 months in, it hits you in the bath. You've joined the most feared organization in Japan, and your hands smell like dish soap and ashtray. Nobody's paying you a yen. You keep telling yourself the real job starts next week. It's always next week. One morning, you're sweeping the entryway when a police car rolls past and doesn't even slow down. And that's when it finally clicks. None of this is hidden, because none of this is illegal. Being a Yakuza isn't a crime in Japan. Not then, not now. The office sits in the phone book. The men upstairs carry business cards with the crest and their rank and the office number printed on them, and they hand them out at restaurants like sales reps. You came here to join the underworld. The underworld has a reception desk. The crimes are real. So is the filing. After a year of umbrellas, they decide you're worth keeping, and you find out the mafia does this with a ceremony. You kneel across from the boss, a man you've spoken to exactly twice, while a moderator in formal dress pours sake into a single cup with the precision of a surgeon. The boss drinks first. You finish what's left. That's the whole contract. No paper, nothing to sign, and your knees have gone completely dead, and you don't even like sake. But when somebody wraps the cup in white paper and presses it into your hands, you take it like it's made of glass. You'll lose every other thing you own before you lose that cup. Then comes your first payday, which is the day you learn there's no payday. A senior man slides a slip across the table with what you owe, 10,000 yen a month, to the family. You actually laugh because you're certain it's a joke they play on new men. It isn't. Nobody in this organization draws a salary at any rank, and the money moves in one direction, up. You've joined the only company on Earth where the payroll runs in reverse. And that night, lying on the office floor you still sleep on, you do the math twice and notice that what you feel, of all things, is grateful. Somebody finally let you in somewhere. That's the trick of this place. It works on you completely. So how do you eat? You hustle. The family gives you 3 things: a name, a patch of streets, and the fear that comes with both. Everything else you find yourself. The word is shinogi, your earner, and yours is protection money from the bars on your street, collected politely, in daylight, like a subscription. Other men run gambling rooms. Some do worse. Nobody above you ever asks how the work is going. They ask if the dues arrived. Some months, after the envelope goes up, what's left over is dinner. You eat it standing in the office kitchen, oddly proud. Barely 2 years into this life, the government finally comes for you, on paper. There's a new law about violent groups, and your family gets formally designated, which turns out to mean registered, inspected, and filed. The older men are furious for a month. You read the newspaper twice, looking for the part where somebody goes to prison, and it isn't there, because membership still isn't a crime. Your gang just got put on a government list. The office stays open. The sign stays up. The boss's loudest complaint is about the reporting requirements. You spend that whole week wondering what kind of outlaw files paperwork. It takes until you're 24, but promotion finally arrives as another cup of sake. And this time, somebody measures the pour. Dead level. Half for you, half for the man across the table. Because an equal pour means equal rank. You're a kyodai now, an elder brother. You spend the entire ceremony watching that cup like it's a court ruling, because in this world it is one. Your dues go up the same week, obviously. You've stopped being surprised by which direction money moves. What does surprise you is how much the title changes how people pour for you at bars. Your tattoo starts in a one-room studio that smells like ink and antiseptic. The old way, Tabori, an artist driving inked needles by hand, a few hours a session, and you'll be coming back for years. It costs about as much as a car. The family doesn't pay for it. You do in installments, which by now feels normal. What nobody warned you about is the fine print. Visible ink bans you from every public bath, gym, pool, and beach in the country. Lying there, face down, you do the math on what you're actually buying. It's a door, closing. You keep the appointments anyway. Everyone does. Then, one of your brothers loses a shipment he was trusted with, and you find out how apologies work here. It happens in a quiet room, with a short knife and a clean white cloth folded like it's for a tea ceremony. He takes the tip of his own little finger, at the first joint, wraps it, and presents it to the boss with both hands. The boss accepts. The debt is settled. It's called yubitsume, and it's older than the modern gangs. In the gambling crews of the Edo period, a short finger ruined your grip on a sword, so the apology made a man weaker, and weaker meant loyal. You don't sleep that night. On the train the next morning, you notice you're holding your own left hand. 13 years in, the boss makes you Shatigashira, second lieutenant, keeper of the family's young men. You're 31. There's real authority now, a seat at the table, men who pour your drinks before you ask. And your dues jump to 250,000 yen a month, 25 times what you paid as a rookie. You'd expect to be angry about that. What you actually feel is pride, and you're self-aware enough to find that alarming. Because in here, the size of your bill is the size of you. You catch yourself saying the number at a bar the way salarymen say their bonus. And now you're the one collecting. First of every month, the young men file into the office one by one and hand you envelopes. You count. You log. You send it up. One kid, 19, with a bad haircut and an honest face, hands you an envelope so thin it folds, and his eyes tell you it's everything he has. You take it. That's the rule, and you finally understand it from the inside. The pyramid survives because the flow never stops. Rain, recession, prison, it doesn't matter. You used to be the envelope. Now you're the hand. The year you turn 36, the boss names you Wakagashira, first lieutenant, the number 2. He decides. You make everything actually happen. A new business card appears the same day, your rank printed under the crest, right above the office phone number, and you present it with 2 hands and a shallow bow, exactly like every other executive in this country. Stopped at red lights, you watch the salarymen cross and think it's the same job, honestly. Meetings, budgets, personnel problems. The difference is what severance looks like. Somewhere in those years, the kid with the bad haircut goes to prison over family business. He does his 4 years the way a man here is supposed to, without handing the police a single name. The morning he gets out, you're waiting at the prison gate in your best suit, because that's how it's done. A man who kept his mouth shut gets met like a returning soldier. He bows before he's even crossed the road, and the first thing he says is an apology, a sincere one, for the dues he missed while he was inside. You buy him breakfast and can't think of anything to say. The system has him completely. It has you, too. You're the one who taught him. Then the year you turn 39, the law lands on you like weather. Every prefecture passes what everyone calls exclusion ordinances, and the mechanism is nasty. They don't outlaw you. They outlaw everyone else's business with you. Your bank writes one polite letter and closes an account you've held for 20 years, because keeping it open is now the bank's crime. The phone shop can't sign you. The golf club returns your fee. You stand at an ATM holding a card it no longer recognizes. A grown man the whole street is scared of. Defeated by a cash machine. Nobody arrested anyone. They just unplugged you from the country, one contract at a time. At 41, you get the thing every man in this world claims to want. Your own family. It's the only kind you ever ended up having. A dozen men, a small office, your name on the sign. And the first man through the door behind you is the kid. Older now, out of prison, keeping your ledger. The ceremony, the sack pours uneven the other way, and a 20-year-old with terrible posture and a brand new suit drinks after you, then holds the wrapped cup like it's made of glass. You remember exactly what that grip feels like from the inside. First of the month, the envelopes come to you. It isn't triumph you feel, it's relief, with a deadline. Your own dues didn't disappear. They went up again. From the boss's chair, you can finally see the shape of the whole thing. The family you run is a child of a bigger family. The bigger family answers to the biggest of them all, the Yamaguchi-gumi, run from a walled compound in Kobe you could walk to from the door you first knocked on. At your tier, you're sending up 500,000 yen a month. Every terrifying man you've ever bowed to is somebody's child. Every hand that takes an envelope passes one, and at the very top sits exactly one man who only receives. You've met him once, for about 30 seconds. He knew your name. Then the pyramid cracks. The year the Yamaguchi-gumi turns 100, 13 of its bosses pick that exact birthday to walk out and start a rival, taking nearly 3,000 men with them. And for a while, the politeness drops off this world like a mask. There are shootings on the news in cities you've worked. Offices like yours get attacked. Men you've shared sake with stop answering their phones because nobody's sure yet who's on which side. You put the kid on the door, take a different route to work every morning, and eat lunch facing the entrance. And after all of that, what finally arrives at your office is paperwork. The 13 are formally expelled with written orders. Haman, which can someday be forgiven, or Zechen, which can't. Excommunication in duplicate. You pick loyalty, and you keep your head down. The last promotion comes at 46. Your family is taken on directly under the syndicate itself, and you start sitting in meetings at the Kobe headquarters. It's a long table of old men and green tea going cold, and you once watched the most feared men in Western Japan spend 40 minutes settling who sits where. In that room, you learn the number everyone whispers about is real. A direct boss pays about 850,000 yen to headquarters, monthly. You sign your first one with a perfectly steady hand. Nothing behind the hand is steady. The whole empire started as 50 dock workers loading ships in this same port. Every man at that table knows the story. Not one of them has ever unloaded a ship. October brings the part of the job nobody warned you about. Candy duty. Once a year, the most surveilled address in the Japanese underworld sets out a folding table and carves pumpkins. The story is that some kids from an international school once came to the gate trick-or-treating, and nobody inside could think of a way to explain. So now it's tradition. You're pushing 50. The whole district is scared of you, and you're guarding a bowl of sweets while a 6-year-old dressed as a ghost tells you your pumpkin looks bad. The police photograph all of it from a parked car, and it occurs to you, watching the little bags go out, that this is the only transaction you've seen in 30 years where nothing went back up. By the time you're 52, the young men have simply stopped coming. That's not a figure of speech. The chairs are empty, and your youngest soldier is the kid who is 40 now. You still call him the kid. It's stopped being a joke. At the peak, decades before your time, there were 184,000 men in this world. There are fewer than 19,000 now, and half of them are older than 50. The average Yakuza is 54, which technically makes you young, and it's the first time this life has ever given you anything early. And you understand the ones who never joined. No salary, no bank account, no phone, and a tattoo you can't take swimming. You didn't climb to the top of a pyramid. You climbed a pyramid that was sinking. The top goes under last. So at 53, quietly, you leave. And the strange part is that the organization mostly just lets you. No bill, no parcel. It's the state that sends the invoice, under what everyone calls the 5-year rule. An ex-Yakuza keeps being treated as a Yakuza for 5 more years. No bank account, no lease in your own name, no phone contract, and almost nobody willing to hire you. You gave this life 35 years, and the law's parting gift is 5 more. You're a civilian now, with a waiting period. What's left of the family goes to the kid. He drives you to the new apartment, carries your box up the stairs, and you let him because it's the last thing you'll ever let him do. You find it on the 3rd night in the new apartment, at the bottom of the box. It's still wrapped in the ceremony paper. The cup. And sitting on the floor of a room whose lease carries somebody else's name, you finally do the arithmetic you've been dodging since you were 18. 10,000 a month became 250,000, and then 850,000 for 35 years. And not 1 yen ever came back down. The most organized criminal enterprise on Earth. And in all that time, it handed you exactly one physical object, a sack cup. And the boss drank first.